Every YouTube community has its own subset of people looked down upon by the rest. Even reaction YouTubers, the bottom of the barrel, have their own bottom of the barrel, which would just be the bottom of the barrel, just somewhat more specific, but stay with me here. When it comes to reviewers, there are people like the Nostalgia Critics The Wall Review. Too soon? Cartoon reviewers have those two guys I talked about before in videos and don't even want to say the name of. Even gamers have those certain members who get a little too close with their fan base to where maybe someone should be called. The subset of commentary channels I'm talking about, the drama community, isn't exactly the worst. It can be pretty harmful for sure, spreading rumors, ruining reputations. I bring it up in my cancel culture video, check that out, but they don't exactly make the worst content possible. I mentioned it briefly, but the real folly of the drama community is they're never going to stick around for long unless their Keemstar is scarce. You could say, but JS, they're YouTube news channels, not drama channels. First thing to that, Keemstar's show is called Drama Alert for God's sake. Secondly, though they claim they're only reporting news, there is an air of opinionation and a bit of a devious nature to what they're reporting. More Keemstar than scarce. Most drama channels aren't even run by creators over the age of 18, at least when counting the not so popular ones, which is a grand majority. How many channels can you name that talk only about dramas when they're popular and have had the ability to stay popular after the drama ended or the dramas themselves were proven wrong? Quite, no, he's more of a memeless type. The dozens of people who made the same video about Speechy without saying anything insightful or new when that was a hot thing to do? I can barely remember their names, so no. How is it that someone who had a video so popular could end up being barely remembered at all? Well, cue intro. Wait. Jared, you were supposed to write something to help me transition into the next topic. We talked about this, you goddamn idiot. People in the drama community strive off, you guessed it, drama and controversy. This doesn't apply only to YouTubers either. Businesses, actors, anyone in the industry who'd be considered worth a damn. Countless video essays go into talking about the controversies around Michael Jackson, Jared from Subway, and many, many others. Usually these popular videos are made by people who either have experience in creating videos but choose not to use it often, or newcomers who don't really know much about this whole new editing thing. The clear signs are obvious when the editing is minimal or non-existent for the newcomer, and in the case of the talented recluse, have a low voice and talking kind of slowly. It shows they're not used to doing this kind of thing themselves. In most cases, what gets them into making the video in the first place is wanting to talk about the subject in question because they wanted to get their opinion out. Of course, there's also the equally common breed of content creator who had just been bubbling under, and this video was just their first breakthrough. I can relate to that. I was at 500 subs until 2 months ago when I randomly got the algorithm's favor. It's a pretty cool, if not also jarring, experience. The difference between the average drama channel and me is I'm known for more than one video, that video being the one that originally got me into the spotlight. My original breakout video, I've Lost All Respect for Butch Hartman, was made because I had an opinion I wanted to share immediately and in the process put no effort into. When it blew up unexpectedly, I tried to plan my attack to keep viewers interested. I talked about the Mr. Enter Indiegogo project, Baldi's Basics, the original Titans trailer where Robin edgy as hell says, "Fuck Batman." I would chase and grab onto as many trends as I could to stay relevant. Thanks to changing slowly over a year, thinking I'd hit my peak and it was all downhill from here, my second win grew my channel to where I am now. Other people making the unsuspected money machine video have different reactions to the sudden success. Let me put it this way, success is a double-edged sword. Everyone wants to be a celebrity, they want the fame, they want to be on magazine covers, they want the spotlight right on them without realizing the negatives that come with. If you're a movie star, you need to spend time promoting the film, not being in movies, finding new work being rejected, doing interviews, and generally not acting at all. When you are acting, you need to deal with tons of rehearsals, having to do uncomfortable stunts when it's impossible for a double to and have it not be obvious, and dealing with long production days on hot sets and costumes. The same kinds of ups and downs come with every other type of fame. Even outside of work, you have problems, tabloids, rumors, TMZ and BuzzFeed trying to get clicks, because if they say you shat in public, they get their $5 for a Big Mac combo to not starve to death tonight.
Just like the rat-like bottom feeders they are.
As a person who quote-unquote matters, you're always under the eye of the public, ready to be slammed for the slightest mistake. Being a YouTuber is kind of different. Most people who make YouTube channels can become famous, but not in the way that media does for average celebrities. YouTubers have the option for a limited mask of anonymity if they choose to use it. Sure, people can find out your info if they hack your channel, but if you're protective enough of your identity, the public might know almost nothing about you. Take Chipflake for example. They've been on YouTube for almost 3 years and have over 400,000 subscribers, but almost no one knows anything about them. All I could find line was they go by gender-neutral pronouns, they might be transgender, they might be bisexual, and that's about it. All a bunch of maybes. You don't know their face, their name even on a first-name basis, not even their gender as far as if they're biologically female, male, transgender, or what. I'm not exempt from this either. All you know about me is my name is Braxton. Who even knows if that's my first, middle, last name, nickname, whatever. Some of you have seen my face on a pretty small scale, and at that, I've cut my hair much shorter and lost 5 pounds, so I don't look exactly the same as before, and you didn't even know. I've never said my sexuality, though that doesn't really matter, and I've only ever mentioned my religion on my small Twitter like 3 times. You might think you know me, but honestly, you barely know shit other than a name I've given you, a face, and that I'm 15. People are still shocked when I say that because I don't say that often either. There are simple reasons for keeping secretive too. People want to be able to say whatever they want. People want to not have strangers knowing much about them. Or in my case, it's just sort of an escape from my normal life. A place where I can show my skills and make the content I love separately from the day-to-day regular. Not like I don't want to claim it as my own. Of course not. I stand by what I say and am proud of what I create. It's not like this channel is supposed to not be me or a major secret I never acknowledge to anyone ever. What I mean is I like to feel apart from my regular life when I make these. I try to keep my personal and online life sort of separate from one each other to an extent. I have other YouTube friends like my artist Past Halloween who feel the same way. I just personally like to not have those two parts of my life intersect too much, at least for the time being. My point is, some people realize the connotations with fame, even just YouTube fame, and they don't want to pardon it or get famous for a type of video they don't usually like to make. They could get paranoid and super protective of any information about them to the point they'll risk getting out of the limelight to not have any personal information come out in an extremely rare scenario. The kind of scenario so rare it only really happens to people with millions of subscribers and has happened less and less as YouTube has gotten bigger and bigger. Many other people who blew up had their single popular video and feel a need to continue making that type of content despite their own feelings on if they like making it or not. I'll get into that later, but right now let's use an example of someone who matches multiple of the boxes Cub Noodle Doodle. Now please don't take this as an offense, I really like your stuff, boo. Her first commentary video, as far as what's available, was on Speechy. It got over 250k views and is sort of the staple of her channel, check. Her next 2 videos were also on Speechy, and afterwards she made a few videos on popular subjects like Yandere Dev. As she continued, she started focusing more on art, specifically speed paints, random shitposts, and animation memes. She became kind of sparse in uploading until she brought back her Talking About series, something she hadn't done in nearly 8 months, with another Speechy video, and thus she has come full circle. Check. She made a popular video, continued on that for a while, tried to change it up, went somewhat silent for several months when that didn't pan out, and then came back to the subject to try and possibly get that relevance back to her mostly now dead channel. She even reused the same thumbnail to make people member. Maybe she did it for other reasons, but that's how I see it. No offense to them, I do like their content, but you can't say this comeback video wasn't trying to reignite interest, if nothing else. Another reason drama channels tend to end up floundering is the change of public perception in relation to the person they're talking about. Speechy used to be the worst possible person, and saying the exact same opinions about her would get you plenty of views and likes. Wolfie Jew became a major talking point as well. Everyone talked about hating how she supposedly pitched up her voice, how bad her animations were. Not that many of them aren't, but they went a bit far with their claims, saying she didn't animate at all, her art deteriorating over time, and some people even accusing her of being her boyfriend, Jordan Sweeto. Sakura Turtles, Kryzen, and Foster all made videos about her that got plenty of success, all until the commentary community got a hold of it and asked, yeah, but why? Which basically destroyed most of the arguments for her bandwagon hate. The only crime people could really fault her for was putting tags of other people in her videos to get better search results, which is a bad thing that you shouldn't do on YouTube, but that really was about it. And what became of these channels and their creators? Well, Foster is gone. He got into a controversy over these kinds of drama videos and ended up deleting his channel. Sakura Turtles also deleted his video because of the backlash, and now stays quietly under the waves of the commentary community rather than the drama community. Finally, Kryzen kept his video up, but he put a little outdated next to it and remade the video. And that video wasn't really liked either. I hope I don't need to spell out the correlation between getting backlash and deciding to quit YouTube entirely. Sure, having a single video that's eventually disliked isn't gonna make most people quit, but when it's your most popular video and nothing else even comes close to it, you begin being branded with that label. If your most popular video isn't considered generally good in the eyes of the public, assumptions are made about the entirety of your channel's integrity and status. Some people will realize that will be their online persona's claim to fame and feel like they can never surpass it, so so they decided to just shut the whole thing down. That's led to the downfall of plenty drama channels like Foster, who in an attempt to be more popular ended up lying for brownie points and eventually was called out. It just shows finding someone who's relevant at the time and saying some dumb shit about them isn't gonna help you in the long run but instead hurt you, yet we continue to do it over and over again. Ranting about dramas that carry serious consequences because other people do it is an entirely different game. My cancel culture video got into more detail about the effect it can have on the person being accused, but I didn't mention much about what happens to the person who backs the accuser. For those who haven't seen it, my cancel culture video had to do with the problems of someone being accused of a terrible thing and immediately being lynched by the rest of the community. On that, I briefly mentioned the sheeple who dragged on the feet of the accuser to be seen as some hero or get tons of views and upvotes from their peers because they called out the big bad boy. I also mentioned how a good majority of drama channels are run by children with too much free time and an unhealthy want for attention. This is the reason many drama channels fall. The person is called out for being a trend chaser who, unknowingly or not, tried to end the career of someone who did nothing wrong. They may have genuinely wanted justice for the so-called victim, but nonetheless, as teenagers or children, they acted irrationally from those strong feelings instead of trying to actually look deeper into the situation and find out what actually happened from both perspectives. They got into the community too early, and when the apologies for the accused start coming in, the accusers and their horde of lackeys back off, in some cases for good. All of us over the age of 12 can remember when Spock Theory rants were more common than Watch Mojo rants. Now looking it up, we can find nothing because those videos were obviously deleted. The children trying to get into the YouTube spotlight through these drama videos end up prematurely going away from a dumb drama they chose to take part in before possibly growing into more than that. The fact of keeping up a video talking about a drama from 3 years ago you need context to understand that you don't give doesn't really help its aging process well either. Now, I'm not the kind of guy who points out flaws in the community without trying to find a better alternative for them. That's what Insert YouTuber here is for. First step of multiple steps, don't be a drama channel. Well, that was easy. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Okay, fine. The best way to be better than a drama channel is to rise above and make videos that can relate to the topic in some way without feeling incredibly cash-grabby, manipulative, or dated. I find out that the easiest way to do this is to create videos that have something new to say or bring up a different angle of the conversation no one else has brought up before. If you can show you aren't exactly like everyone else who puts together a 2-minute rant video in a day using their iPhones as a mic and can't think for themselves, the more people will respect you and end up remembering you. Even in cases where your video or opinion ends up being wrong or disproven, you'll be given more leniency because if nothing else, you try to look at the situation from a more critical eye instead of being like the norm. I know just as much as anyone the insane difficulties that can come with trying to be more than the rest of your peers, but that's what is needed to be done in order to not be forgotten with time eventually. I know simply saying, "Get good, scrubs," isn't necessarily a good message to send out, but making the effort to, even if slowly, improve your editing, writing, topics, and so on can lead to helping improve your channel overall and give you a good name in the public. I hope this video was informative, if nothing else, to everyone who might be trapped in that community or wanting to try something new, and I'll see you all next time when I wake up. Okay, goodbye. I'm going to bed now.